About unrestricted warfare and some of the techniques, those include, here are some things: Chinese spying, intellectual property theft, hacking, offering open markets but to steal technology, accessing Western capital, infiltrating our education system, infiltrating Hollywood. What of those have you seen that they have done?
All of the above. This is a broad-based attack on the U.S. society. And it's not just our society, it's all free societies that they've been doing this. So the challenge is, of course, military, diplomatic, economic, ideological. And ideological is important because our democracy is under attack. And the main attacker is not the Russians, it's the Chinese. Because almost every day you see People's Daily or some other propaganda outlet try to undermine the faith in democracy and representative governance. And of course, we've seen that at the 30th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre this year, where Chinese media was in overdrive. So this is a broad-based...
And yet that's almost been eliminated as a point of discussion here in the United States. I've watched websites taken down. I've seen evidence of Tiananmen Square kind of scrubbed from the internet.
Yeah, this is absolutely fascinating because you had Deng Xiaoping, who was the paramount leader in 1989. What he wanted to do was to teach the Chinese people a lesson. That the lesson was that the Communist Party was willing to kill in great numbers to stay in power. But Deng's successors, and there's been 3 of them, there's been Jiang Zemin, Hu Jintao, and the current ruler, Xi Jinping, have taken the opposite tack. They've been so embarrassed by this that they've tried to scrub that lesson from history books and from the rest of it, so that many Chinese don't know very much about Tiananmen. Tiananmen occupies 1 sentence in high school textbooks, and they do their best to make sure that people don't understand that period in history. And so right now, the Chinese people have maybe a bit different view of the Communist Party. They view it as more benign, but nonetheless, they're less afraid of it. And that has, of course, implications for the sustainability of the Chinese regime. But, you know, the one thing about communism is people have said, you know, the future is always certain, but the past really gives them problems. And one of the things that gives them problems, of course, is the Beijing Spring of 1989.
So we're at the 30th anniversary. Many Americans aren't aware of it. I think there's been a mass infiltration into our education system that is keeping us with a benign view of the Communist Party of China. In fact, it frightens me to see people talking about, well, President Trump is wrong, China's our friend.
Yes. Trump has done something which is really important, and that he's changed the narrative about China. This has occurred in part because the Chinese have become more hostile and belligerent, and they've pushed all elements in the U.S. political system and spectrum to a much more questioning attitude about